What
And there
the
it is.
hell?
I have no idea what is going
Who's
on
doing this?
already.
Hey, everybody. Hello. Welcome to a brand new Five Heart podcast live on a Thursday night. Hope you're hungry. Anyway, for this eclectic group of fantastic individuals, I'm not one of them. They're the fantastic individuals. I'm just me, the same jackass that you've had from the beginning, Greg Mahochko. The other esteemed individuals, the other hosts of this show, we have up top in her position of honor, the queen matron of Corn Nation, Minnie Hunt. She probably hates that. And then the newest renegade, the newest call up from the bullpen, the most recent to be promoted from the group chat, Fred Sacco. Fred.
Good evening.
Wonderful evening to the both of you.
Yay. What are those pictures all about, Greg?
I don't know, Manny. I don't have a format in front of me. Actually, I do.
You better.
So that was inadvertent. This is what happens when I try to add things during the intro and don't realize that they got added to the screen. But yes, at the end of last week's show, some of you may remember Fred and I had a riveting discussion about breakfast pizza because Fred shared an image with me, in one of our side conversations. It's usually food and or alcohol related. And he sent me this image here. And I said, what is that glorious piece of amazing? And he says, homemade breakfast pizza. And Fred, tell the good people what's on your breakfast pizza here from
Wait. Before we just jump into this.
Okay.
Minnie's got to make it about herself real quick, Greg.
Yes, I do. Because you guys made it about yourselves and did not include me in this whole entire discussion. There's whole breakfast pizzas being made and consumed, and you're talking about it, and I know nothing about it. And then you bring it on the show. So that's why we have to share with everyone.
Well, we're carnivores, and you eat like tofu and beetroot or something, I think, or tree bark. I'm not quite sure what happens up at the cabin, but
beetroot.
I just figured, that wasn't a thing that you'd care about. Like, I send Greg a picture of a steak. I'm not going to send you a picture of the steak because you'd be like, I don't eat that. So I figured you're not going to eat a pizza with bacon and eggs and, So I'll be more mindful in the future.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Continue.
Okay. So I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. What's on
your pizza, buddy?
Yeah. Bacon, egg, herb Havarti cheese, dill, green onion. And this is a a bakery bought crust from a place called Le Quartier here in Omaha. It's sourdough too, but it doesn't taste like sourdough and it's really good. So yeah, very simple build and put it together the way I did there. And it's a damn fine breakfast.
You sent me that on Tuesday of last week. And I said, well, that sounds interesting. I didn't have my boys last weekend. So I said, well, heck with it. I'm going to try to make breakfast pizza. Now I did, but I looked, I tried to get to some bakeries and things like that. I just didn't have time to go and try to find a pre-made pizza dough. And I didn't want to use like a canned Pillsbury pizza dough, although I'm sure it'd be just fine. So I actually went homemade and I made my own pizza dough and I made my own breakfast pizza. This is my breakfast pizza Saturday morning. Yeah, so homemade dough. I used a smoked cheddar that I grated freshly Saturday morning, 7 ounces to be specific. I have, I think, 5 strips of bacon that I cut up and, of course, cooked. And I have some breakfast sausage and 5 eggs that were scrambled. So this is my breakfast pizza. I enjoyed most of it on Saturday and the rest of it Sunday. And it's going to be I'm going to keep doing that. Like I have more more dough. The recipe that I made enough for 2 12-inch pizzas. So I just did the one, and I'll thaw that dough out and maybe make pizza with the boys this weekend.
Okay.
Looks good.
So honestly, when I heard about you guys exchanging breakfast pizza recipes, I had in my mind a greasy cardboard box shoved in the fridge with leftover pizza that you guys pull out and just warm up and probably throw some sort of other meat on it. These are actually like almost gourmet.
Almost. Fred's looks more, gourmet
true.
than mine.
Fred's does.
Fred's also, I think, photographed well. He's closer, had a better angle. Mine's just the overhead. Here's my pizza. I was very proud of it, and it tasted really good.
Yeah, you made your own crust. That's the difference. If I would have tried to make my own crust, my picture would have been the whole thing just smashed against the fucking wall because I just have no patience for crust. And I know it's a disappointment to my mom and my grandmothers would be so disappointed. I can't even roll out dough that's pre-made. It's like kryptonite. So yeah, I chose the path of least resistance and just bought a really nice store-bought crust. It's a great deal. 2 of them for $7. So I made another pizza the next day with similar fare, but I had less bacon and less eggs. I was running out of ingredients. So yeah.
So I'll say this. I'm supposed to roll out the dough. It got to that point in the process, and I realized I don't have a rolling pin. And I'm talking to our mutual friend, best friend of the show, Josh, about this Saturday morning. He's like, what, your kids don't have a bat or anything? So I went out to the garage and I got a Louisville Slugger that I've had for 20 plus years that I took from Shadron. I apologize to Shadron Youth Baseball during their wooden bat tournament. And I was like, yeah, it's a Louisville Slugger. And I use that as my rolling pin on the kitchen table. That's why it also looks a little misshapen. But I'll tell you what, the flavors were there.
No, it's nice. And that's always, you can rotate in sausage or do a little bit of both. And to Minnie's point, taking leftover pizza, sometimes what I'll do if I have leftover any pizza, I'll fry up an egg or two and throw it on top and have it in the morning. Then you get a little more of the protein with it. So yeah.
Seriously, I knew it. I knew it. Yay. It seems to me like in the Midwest, you've experienced all kinds of pizzas.
I would say so. Yeah. And, pizza
Do
is
you
what you
do
make.
dessert pizza?
No. I don't. No.
We have in my family, we have healthy fruit pizzas. Now I got to tell you about this because my sister makes this recipe top notch. It is a giant round sugar cookie, like the pre-made sugar cookie dough, then the tube from the store, with some like sweetened cream cheese. Like if you took powdered sugar and cream cheese and blended it together. It's not whipped cream or a Cool Whip. And then it's blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, kiwi, all that stuff. So,
well, isn't that a fruit tart?
No, it's a fruit pizza.
Okay. I think it's a fruit tart.
I don't think fruit tarts are used with sugar cookies, Minnie.
I think that's something that they had at the Sexton up off of O Street. Fruit tart.
The fruit tart.
Oh my god!
By the way, everybody is withdrawing their marriage proposals after finding out that Minnie's vegan. So
what? I am not vegan. I eat meat. In fact, this morning, because of you guys and giving me a hard time that I don't.
Turkey doesn't count.
Listen, I ordered myself a country skillet breakfast, complete with country gravy on top.
What country?
Come on now.
That sounds good. Very
diced
hearty.
Potatoes and eggs, and it was really, really good.
Fred, you and I, we're both Midwest individuals, as well as I would say most of our audience. Where are you at on Casey's breakfast pizza?
Nope.
What's
Really?
Casey's?
The only time I liked it was years ago when I worked at Yahoo, and I would go to the gym, and if I didn't have time for breakfast, I'd stop and grab a slice because there was nothing else. But it just doesn't. I'm a snob, and what other people would call an asshole. I just don't like certain things, and it's not one of my favorites. So,
all right. Nebraska Strong GBR says, I think Tina's Cafe in Lincoln. I like Tina's Cafe in Lincoln for breakfast. Their cinnamon rolls are to die for.
I have to try that out.
Well, I'm glad we got the food talk out of the way first thing.
I don't think it's done yet. Steak and bacon.
Minnie, can you say hi to Michigander? You don't have to.
Hi. Hi, Michigander.
Hi, Michigander. I saw you earlier, but I was waiting for Minnie to say hi first.
Hello.
Yes, Husker Chuck Minnie has gone Hollywood. She's let the star, her elevation there go to her head.
Oh, being on top here. What?
No, nothing.
It's all good.
Hertz Donuts in Lincoln is another fave for a quick breakfast donut. Fun story. Old Town Cafe, Florissant, Missouri, voted the best donuts in America. So if y'all ever come to my neck of the woods, we'll go get some delicious donuts, some bomb or fire donuts. From
all right. Let me just tell you something. You guys don't have anything on the donuts that we have here in Phoenix, Arizona. They are made with angel hands, cherub hands. They're just so good.
Sounds like a sweatshop.
And fluffy. Oh, they're so good. Sweet. Oh, they're the best donuts I've ever had in my life. I could eat a dozen myself. They're really good donuts.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, well, you probably don't even like light and fluffy donuts.
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Why would I not like light and fluffy? Like, I like delicious donuts. Look at me. I'm a fat guy. I guarantee you I have eaten more donuts in my life than you have. I think I know a thing or two about donuts.
Are we not getting any comments again?
It's doing this thing
slow in StreamYard, but they're rolling through on my phone. So it's something in StreamYard. The last I see is Tiger Shark Diver at 9:10 with Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip. Cool Whip.
Yeah, Brian, you have to have Cool Whip on your pies.
Okay, well.
All right, Minnie, where are we going next?
Did we give the recipe? We did, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Dough.
There's no sauce.
Bacon.
Somebody asked about sauce. There's no sauce.
That seems weird.
Well, the trick, I'll get it out of the way. The trick is to don't cook the bacon too charred. Don't overcook the eggs. You put the bacon underneath, then you put the eggs and the cheese on top, and it kind of builds a base to where it holds it all in. So
you don't char the bacon.
No. You cook it lightly, so then it finishes in the oven. The same with the egg.
Let me ask you a question. Once you cook the bacon in the frying pan, you cool it, and it's not cooked all the way through. So do you take it and shred it, or do you use scissors, or how do you
chop it up with scissors, and then I cook the eggs in the bacon grease, so it makes them moist as well. I said moist, and again, don't cook them to where they're drying out. Keep them a little bit, malleable, and then it all melds together in the oven.
So okay. I do mine different. It was a process because
you had to bake the crust, yeah.
Well, crust, and I used I cooked the bacon first, and then I cooked the sausage in a different pan, and then I cooked the eggs in a third pan. So I made more work for myself, but I very specific about my eggs. I like to keep my eggs clean. It's eggs, a little bit of milk, and then I'm constantly stirring them with a fork.
Okay. Thank you.
And Rostowski, not wrong. You could put hot sauce on there.
Yeah.
Your personal preference. I actually thought about it, and then I just forgot.
I did too, actually. I was so happy with how it looked, I just ate it.
Did it taste like it was missing a little something?
No. because I have the herb Havarti cheese on mine, and I throw dill on top and the green onion. So,
I think the dill would just make it just so perfect.
and a little bit of bacon salt too in the eggs.
I bought green onions. I forgot the green onions.
Rookie mistake. It was your first outing. You'll get it.
Roger Moore agrees. James Bond loves pizza.
Oh no. We can't go back, guys.
Storming pizza.
All right. So I know that the next thing on the docket for tonight is the whole Bill Moos book that he wrote, because he was the AD during the infamous Scott Frost era. And I know, Greg, I know you hate that term era, but we're going to use it, because he wrote a book called The Crab Creek Chronicles. He started it 5 years ago when he was at Nebraska, and he kind of just lets a little bit out of the bag about how, at least by the way he tells it, how everyone meddled into what he was actually hired to do, which was hire the football coach.
Yeah, I'll say this. The comments that I heard, because obviously I haven't read the book, but I saw the clips. I think it was 93.7 The Ticket. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Fred. It seemed like Bill Moos kind of went scorched earth on Scott Frost. Like, just here's something that Haas would appreciate if he were here. Went full William Tecumseh Sherman march to Savannah on Scott Frost and his time at Nebraska. Like, from the standpoint of, like, he didn't even want to hire him. It just it was kind of bloody, if I'm being honest.
It sure seemed like it. And I mean, rightfully so. He's not going to come out and champion Frost and say, oh, well, if we'd have had one more year or anything like that. But this thing I was saying to Greg yesterday, and I don't doubt 9/10 of what's in that book, but also nobody ever writes a book to be self-deprecating, to put themselves in a bad spot, to look like they didn't know what was going on. So in wrestling parlance, you're writing a book, you're going to put yourself over. Yeah. And
his story is half of the story.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think that someday, let's see, 15, 20 years from now, Scott Frost is going to write a book or have a book written about him and tell his side of the story.
Well,
I think that's going to happen.
Money.
Yeah. According to Bill Moos, Scott Frost wasn't even interested in the job.
He had to send, as far as last year, we did hear that. Yeah.
He had to send Matt Davidson down to, and if you guys would read my notes, you would know all this. They had to send Matt Davidson down to kind of be his conduit, is what the term he used.
Mm-hmm.
And the person who suggested that was Tom Osborne. So it's interesting to me that you have so many people that he mentions that kind of have a say-so in how things are being done, or just tips,
And he said tip, but also a thing that I think about is, honestly, and this is a discussion my friends and I had, once it started going poorly for Frost, well, I mean, it was poorly from the beginning, but once we realized, and I think it's been said on this show or past shows, not recently, but a lot of people feel like Bill Moos is brought here also as a conduit, short-time job. He was brought here solely to hire Frost and Hoiberg. That was kind of it. And I mean, I have no ill will with Moose, but also it's kind of like, we also heard the absentee landlord stuff, that he wasn't always here. So I think he was content to be like, okay, I would have liked to do this, but I'll do what I'm told. I'll get my money. You guys will fail most likely if he didn't think Frost was the guy. Comes in sweatpants, and we had to convince him to come here. The Chip Kelly thing was interesting. That caught my eye, if that's true.
That's who he wanted to hire. Bill Moos said that's who he went down and kind of just did a kitchen table interview with
Met in
them.
secret, right?
Yes. That was interesting, Fred.
Mm-hmm. So it's tough to say. I like, there's always two sides to every story, sometimes multiple sides. The one thing I can get on board with, and I'd seen a lot of mention of it, a lot of meddling, a lot of, too many cooks in the kitchen, a lot of, the whole thing where he gets a contract extension and Moose is told about it as he's walking back from game day. Like, that type of stuff just shows that he was a bit of a figurehead. But again, what is he going to do in his spot? Is he going to stand up and say, I'm not doing this? Then he gets future endeavored. So everybody was kind of getting paid to do what they do. And, this is what we got. We need to never repeat this again.
What do you think went so bad? As Bill Moos said it was Scott Frost wasn't necessarily the wrong hire, just at the wrong time. He said it would have been much better if he would have been hired when Matt Rhule was hired instead.
If that's the case, who do you hire at that time?
Chip Kelly.
Okay, but then we have no idea. It's easy to say with the benefit of hindsight, hire Scott Frost in 2023 instead of 2018. We have no idea what the program would have looked like under a different coach. Like all we know for a fact is what happened. We could speculate, we could theorize whether it's Chip Kelly or Matt Campbell or the coach from
Bill
Kansas.
O'Brien we were looking at, or no, was O'Brien available back when we got Frost? Probably not. No, I'm getting my timelines mixed up. O'Brien was in the Rhule era of coaches.
Mike Leach
would have been fan freaking tastic. Could you imagine?
That name was mentioned and people were fan freaking losing their minds because a lot of people didn't want to fan freaking, run and shoot, but it would have been interesting.
What a
and I get the timing thing. I get what he means, but who knows? But also, I think he'd said in his book, an excerpt, he'd said if Frost had landed at Florida or Tennessee, I mean, people would have lost their minds. I would have lost my mind because I didn't know any better at the time, as 90% of the fan base didn't know it was going to go like this. He was the hot shit hire at the time, and we got what we got.
There was a couple of quotes that he said that I loved, absolutely loved. And one of them was,
wow.
What?
Mr. Matney says, in all fairness, I would have busted out my torches and pitchforks if he didn't hire Scott Frost. I mean, let's not forget that he took a winless team with talent to an undefeated team that beat Auburn in the bowl game while he was doing double duty, finishing up at UCF and starting to, get on the recruiting trail for Nebraska. It was a Cinderella story. It was the fairy tale season for Scott Frost. Like, Scott Frost coaching life may have not gotten any better than it was in 2017.
That's true. But, Bill Moos did talk about the 2020 season and how, he basically fought to get a schedule. And then at the 8th game, the end of the season, we had to play Rutgers and in a bowl game. And Scott Frost said he didn't want to do it, and he left it up to the team, and the team didn't want to do it. And Moose said, the animals are running the zoo, and that's what's wrong with college football.
Hasn't gotten any better in the last half a dozen years.
That's so true. And he said that's what's wrong with college football today, too. The animals are running the zoo. I love that quote.
I mean, I'd be,
asylum, same thing.
I think you're going to get a little more grace if you say the inmates are running the asylum. The animals are running the zoo. I think saying the animals are running the zoo is kind of a bad look.
But okay, to be fair, he could also be talking about how the fans kind of run the program. I mean, the fact that, David Matney's like, I would have gone all crazy if Scott Frost wasn't hired, and everybody, what? How do fans get a say?
With our dollars, with our tickets, our merch.
Just like they say,
yeah, but ultimately all we want is to win.
Yeah, we do.
Checkbook.
And yeah, but it's the fans, but the fans, and then the board and the regents and all the people that have the big money. And again, it was just, and even then the people higher up that might not have had a lot of faith in Frost, they would have been ousted too if he didn't get hired. I mean, it was a wellspring of, we'd gone through so much crap. Riley thing was a failure. We needed something else. And the difference too, and I've read this before and we've talked about this, and make it quick because we got other things to talk about. But when Frost took over, he took over on a team where the coach was like a crazy disciplinarian and the guys just couldn't hack it and it was too much. And Frost was a little more players coach and the guys responded. Well, he came into a situation where Riley was also the players coach where it was easy. So then Frost is kind of easy too, even though, we talked about, they set the record for how many times the guys puked or whatever. But he was also the players coach. So he went from soft to soft and it just didn't pan out. But the inmates running the asylum. Yeah. And wasn't there something too where Frost, then didn't he allegedly ask Moos to have a talk with the team to get them to want to play the bowl game? I think that was somewhere mentioned. I don't know if that was in the book or if he talked about it on 93.7. But if he did, that's weak. I mean, that's just like, if you're the coach, you should be able to make the team do that. You shouldn't have to step back and have the AD come in and save your bacon. Like,
Okay, I can read the chat because it's not coming through on our end here. And let's see here. We have I read the ones that have my name in them. Sorry. TSD says, we, in all caps, run the program, Minnie. We spend money. My friend, Dr. Yanni, sent a check for $20 million.
Ooh.
I want to meet Dr. Yanni.
That's money poorly spent. Jesus Christ.
I know.
God.
And of course, okay, so we have Kaylee here too. And she says, according to the book, Frost did ask Moos to speak with the team. That's true about the bowl game. Because he's like, yeah, you're right. After, Bill Moos is like going crazy because it's like, this is not right. We need to play. And at that point, I guess we already lost our spot. Because to his point, those extra practices is one of the reasons why Nebraska was so great. We always went to bowl games. We always had the extra 15 practices.
Yep.
Yeah, to say dysfunctional is, that's a given at this point. And the COVID year, every team deserved a mulligan, good, bad, or ugly. That was a weird time, but it wasn't going to make this any better, and the extra practices, who knows? And Frost probably just didn't want to do it because he probably just wanted to hang out and do whatever the fuck he did. It's the whole thing's disappointing. I don't know where it's at in the format, but go wherever in the format, Minnie, because I don't want to bounce back and forth. But at some point, I want to cover the Big 12 thing because I only saw the blurb. I didn't hear the reasoning or any of that.
I did not even mention that. And go ahead and talk about it.
Well, no, I just know that Moos had sought out possibly going back to the Big 12 and talk to people over there. And it was kind of looking like it could happen, but then it didn't. But the money thing would have been just a huge loss. And I don't know the logic behind it. I don't know if people in the chat probably know if they read the book or they listened to the radio thing, but to me, that's backsliding. You can't do that. So that shows fallibility on Moos' part.
Yeah, like Minnesota Tony says, Bill Moos wanted to go back to the Big 12, make half the money from TV revenue, and God knows what the academic money is being in the Big 10 Academic Alliance compared to the Big 12. Yeah. Look, we could never go back to the Big 12. And remember, that was still at a time. I'm going to just so people can see mine and Fred's awesome faces. That was still at a time when like Texas and Oklahoma were still in the Big 12. Like, why would you want to go back and deal with Texas again? Already, they are such a cancer to every athletic conference that they're in, going back to the Southwestern
SWC.
Conference.
Yeah.
The Big 12, like, just they're in the rear view. Let them be in their rear view.
He also said, Bill Moos, that he had the CFO calculate how much money we would lose if we didn't play football in 2020. And the CFO came back and told him $100 million.
That seems honestly legit.
That is crazy money.
And that's kind of the strange part of that 2020. I mean, interrupt, but it's like we were the ones that said we wanted to play, and other schools didn't, and people were hammering us for the season. And then we have the opportunity to get a bowl by hook or by crook, and then we turn it down. And that was kind of like my first signs of cracks in the foundation of what was going on with Frost, because I was just like, why would you be so tough to lead this thing? We're going to play, and we played Rutgers. And I think we beat them. It was kind of a weird, gritty game. Why not play the bowl game? And then he says, oh, we didn't want to. And I'm thinking, you wanted to play, now you don't. And I questioned that. And now, I mean, we kind of know a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is really crazy when you think about it. All the stuff. I love looking back at things and getting a little more information, because it's like, oh yeah, that puzzle piece fits now. I get it. And okay, to be fair, and maybe this is just, to kind of stay in good graces with Nebraska. But I like to think that he said it in all sincerity, because he ended kind of his interview yesterday on the radio with a really wonderful thing he said about Nebraska. And I always try to describe Nebraska to people that have never been to Lincoln, and I feel like I always fall short. I say it's
because we're fat, basically.
Yeah, basically. No, I say that it's like a slice of American pie. I don't even know if there's police officers there, because it's just like low crime, no crime. So
there's cops, trust me.
I'm sure. He said about Nebraska, Moose said he never felt like he got the support or trust to do his job. Like there was a lot of meddling. But I'll tell you, the people, the fans at Nebraska are the most wonderful people I've ever met in my life. Philanthropic, patriotic, and when you cross that border, it's all red. Incredible people. Millionaires driving 1964 Chevy Silverados. And then I come out west and there's $100 millionaires driving Jaguars that can't even make their monthly payments. I just love that. That was a great way to just sum it up.
And I like that. And it reminds me of when he got hired, because they talked about how he was as comfortable talking to the, billionaire donor as he was to the farmer out in the cornfield, and I think he's a good guy, and I like his take on us. That's good. And he's also smart enough not to, piss in our cornflakes as he writes the book. That's good for him. So guy ain't a dummy, but I mean, again, it takes two to tango. And I think he was put in a spot where he was kind of handcuffed a little bit, and he had to make do with what he had to do. And now he wrote his book, and he'll make a little bit of money off of it, and we'll talk about it and get clicks. And, here we go.
Yes.
Sounds like something we would do.
Nah, it's off season. I'm glad the guy did it. If he didn't, we'd be still talking about our fucking pizzas, for God's sakes. And it's like 30 minutes in.
Those are going to be I can't wait to get the boys to help me roll out that dough Saturday or Sunday and put the pizza sauce on and a bunch of cheese. Although BFOTS Josh did say it's very important with the cheese to, shred your own cheese and not get the prepackaged, because the prepackaged shredded cheese has a powder on to keep it from clumping. It's an anti-clumping agent. So
we're turning this into a Food Network show.
The cheese I use just comes in a block and I just chop it up. But either way, and I just lay it in strips across. But either way, yeah.
All right, Minnie, where are we going next?
Did we finish that part?
I don't know.
That's what she said.
Do you want to? Okay.
I think we did. I think the Dana Altman thing.
The Dana Altman thing.
Want to talk about that?
Yes. Well, apparently at PBA, Jim Pillen, who is the current governor, didn't want to hire Dana. How do you say his last name?
Altman. Your autocorrect went just freaking haywire in that format. Good Lord. Auckland. It sounds like that's a town in New Zealand, but no, Altman. Yeah.
I told you.
Geography, food, cheese. You get it all here, folks.
So, yeah, again, he was not able to hire the head coach that he really wanted to hire, which to me, okay. And I think, listening to him and talking about him, it kind of, Greg, I think you mentioned he's kind of like a cross between the Duke and, Clint Eastwood. He's like out there on his ranch and, raising heifers. And I just felt like he was like a really cool dude. Huh?
Like Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah, but we actually liked him.
But he, in the time that he was here, he wanted to hire 2 people for head coaching positions and did not stand his ground. Like, that's his job to pick the head coach, right? Why did he lose out on 2?
Because then his job's over if he picks them. I mean, I think it's as simple as that. I mean, they would have been, I'm sure they told him. I don't know if he put it in the book or not, but they probably just said, if you do not hire these 2 people, because I barely follow basketball, but they were talking Hoiberg back then. So it was Hoiberg, and it was like, and they came in together, and there was all the Cinderella. It was the best stuff ever. I don't know. People in the chat might know better or have a better concept. Go off on a tangent quick, but like, who do they think would have gotten us turned around quicker, Altman or Fred? Not this one, but because I'm kind of curious about it. Like, I don't know enough about basketball. I don't know if Altman would have been able to do anything quicker than Hoiberg did or not.
It's also, I think, difficult to. I like what Fred Hoiberg has done. I feel like he's built a solid foundation. I think he has young guys coming in. He picks the portal players, the international players as he needs to fill gaps. I think that Hoiberg's model is built for more sustained long-term success. Dana Altman might have got us there sooner, but would it have longevity? Would it have lasting power?
Good question.
You're welcome.
I have no idea. Speaking of basketball, we can skip our next topic and just go straight into basketball if you want. Do we want to?
What was the next topic before basketball?
The NFL Combine.
Oh, well,
no, I think we should definitely discuss the NFL Combine.
Or we could stay with basketball and then go to the Combine.
That's fine.
Right. Or Fred, now that okay. What are we talking about? Go ahead, Greg. Fred.
We're talking about practice? No, we're talking about basketball.
Oh, speaking of which, football practice starts a week from Saturday. Yay.
Oh yeah, everything starts quicker this year.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, he was his own island. Like, that was the one thing that was unfuckable. Like, just leave that alone and it'll sustain itself. Football used to be, undefeated and sustainable. Now it's not. And Yeah, good for Cook. He survived all that, but I don't think he had to really worry. I think he just had to keep doing what they probably were like, literally, hey, Coach Cook, good job. And then they left him and went to go fuck up everything else.
Language.
Oh, they went to mess up everything else, Greg.
I'm kidding. I don't care. You should know me by now. Better. I don't care. All the foul language.
Okay.
So, what are we talking about?
Combine?
Okay. The NFL Combine. We actually have 2 players invited again this season, which, I mean, if we're talking about Matt Rhule and him getting graded for, every year we're taking a little step forward, he did not improve on that.
No.
Which is kind of strange because that's all we talk about is development, right? 1% better every day. So we only have 2 guys again, but at least we have 2 guys because 2 years ago we had 0.
Question.
And yes.
If you're 1% better every day, does that mean by the end of the year you're 365% better?
As long as you don't regress.
Okay.
I mean,
therein lies the rub, because we did regress in many things. And yes, I did say rub. But yeah, Anyways, back to our couple guys. And the only reason I'm wearing this vintage Las Vegas Outlaws jersey from the old XFL is that I hope that both of our guys get like NFL contracts and don't land on oddball weirdo teams. So that's the tie-in for why I'm wearing this.
Oh, I like that. Good job, Fred.
Hey, look at that.
That's nice. Okay, so Emmett Johnson and Deshaun Singleton were invited. You know how it's always us versus the SEC?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the SEC had 114 players invited, and the Big X had 84.
Yeah, but the Big X has back-to-back-to-back national championships.
I know.
We have better coaching and development, and just in-game, the teams actually play better together than the SEC super athletes. That's my take. Iowa Western has 4. Was one of them the D tackle that spurned us? Oh no, he's going to play another year. So yeah, somebody else. That's great. Wow.
Well,
we'll get there eventually.
I'm really happy. I mean, I was kind of concerned because I thought surely Emmett Johnson will get in. And I thought maybe that would be it for us. So Deshaun Singleton getting in, I'm so thrilled for him too.
Somebody else mentioned Sierra Wright. I would kind of question that too. I mean, he was a little bit quieter, but still good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly had to double check and see that Sierra Wright had, exhausted his eligibility. I did a quick check on Huskers.com. He's not on the roster currently on the website. So for whatever reason, I thought he had another year. I thought he was with, and maybe my timelines are wrong. It's possible. I thought he was with USC for a season and 2 with us, but maybe he was with us for 3 and I forgot.
I feel like it was only 2 with us because he had a good game against them last year, and I thought that was his first year with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they made a big deal about him being back at the Coliseum, or not make a big deal, but it was a headline or a talking point.
Husker Chuck said he was a senior. Okay,
thanks, Husker Chuck.
Well, I can do somebody asked for the top or to go through the Big X, but I can go through the top combine invites. Texas A&M got 13. Alabama got 12 invites. Ohio State and LSU got 11. Georgia, Oklahoma, Miami got 10. Clemson, Florida, Indiana, Iowa, Oregon, and Penn State got 9. And Michigan and Texas Tech got 8. USC and Texas got 7. And Tennessee, Notre Dame, Missouri, Kentucky, Auburn, and Arkansas all got 6.
Missouri, gross.
Mizzou, Dick.
Kaylee says the SEC has had better talent for years, but the Big Ten has had better teams. So I think it's a case of the sum is greater than, the individual parts. So.
Yeah. 08888 says there's a correlation here with the Big Ten standings. I believe it. I mean, Ohio State has the most. Indiana did not have the most, though. They had what? Did I say 8? 9. Ohio State had 11. That's pretty close. Michigan.
But Indiana is more of, it's only a 2-year sample, and Signetti, take a drink, said the name, but he goes for fit. He goes for, gosh, don't fall out of your chair, Greg, but he goes for fit. He goes for people that, fit the program and work as a team instead of guys that are just like some kind of rock star that come in expecting everything and deliver, whatever. He builds them up. So they may not get as many invites, but he'll probably have more guys go pro than those 9.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What are you?
Iowa.
It looks like you're opening a drink.
Iowa had as many as Indiana.
Yeah, well, but you know what? I don't like Iowa, but they were within a few points of beating a handful of good teams. Hate to say it, with their basic boring ass football. And
boring but
Iowa,
effective.
I'm drinking a barrel-aged Snow Beast, not to be confused with Kirk Ferentz's wife's name, but yeah, but they play real football, basic football, and they kept close, and they develop players. It's like that conversation I told you guys about with the Penn State fan that I talked to the other day, and that's why certain teams do better, because they develop. And we just but we haven't had enough consistency with coaches or staff to develop anything, and that's kind of we got to settle down and start building. Carricker said it, you can't build when you're playing Jenga,
Do you think that's why we have heard such a little amount from Matt Rhule? This year, we've hardly heard anything from him at all. Hardly even a peep.
That's probably good.
I think so too.
Fred, you talked about their boring style of football. Never mind me says I hate Iowa, but let's be honest, they put consistency on it. It's like they run 6 plays, split veer, give it just like Novocaine. Give it time, it always works. It pisses me off. But it works. That's what really pisses me off. So
about Iowa. I told you.
Well, and Matney said, and we're talking about Rhule. Matney says that's good. He needs to focus, and I think, and
more podcasts.
Well, and Matney. Sorry, didn't mean to confuse you with Rhule, but Rhule has even said a few times, "Oh, this gets clicks, that gets clicks." He is very in touch with the ecosystem around football, and he probably hears people saying that he shouldn't do a podcast, that type of thing, and get results instead of all this FaceTime. And even maybe that Phil Snow told him, get down there and coach guys instead of being on Pat McAfee every week, and I know some other people say, oh, it's fun, it's this, that, it builds a program, but I think maybe at this point, Rhule's like, okay, I really got to get in here and see what's going on with everything instead of all this ancillary stuff. Because I think he thought he had stuff in place and he could be out there on front and talking and being on shows and backward hat mat. Didn't work. So now maybe he's, going back to his roots of just coaching and, embracing the grind and all those other terms.
Well, that's
buzzwords.
He hired John Butler because he had confidence that John Butler knew enough of what Tony White had put in place to do the same system.
And then he says afterwards, maybe it wasn't a good fit.
He admitted that
nobody
he had made a
him do it.
mistake. Correct.
It wasn't like Frost when they made him hire Whipple and whoever else. Like Rhule made that decision. And I mean, I was one of the people, I thought it was a good idea. I thought, okay, he's the coach in waiting in case White goes to greener pastures, because we all thought he'd go to UCLA to be head coach or whatever. So I was like, okay, NFL pedigree and great defenses, great secondaries, but he just didn't translate over to the college game. But then after a season of what we saw, then it's like, oh, we weren't a good fit. So is that like, I have to think about it now. It just hit me. It's like, did Rhule have nobody else in the well? So he said, okay, I guess I'm going to stick with this guy and hope it worked. Like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how it works in the background, but I feel like we're always a step behind, or always kind of guessing and hoping, and ain't how you build a program. At least not when I'm playing my Xbox football. You know, I have a program on there and a way to do it.
Okay. Don't you feel, and I hate to be like kind of a sour puss tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I'm here to bring hope to Nebraska, not to bring you guys down.
Combine invitation. Oof.
What?
Nate Borkature, former tight end, got a combine invite.
Yeah, 13 from Texas A&M.
Dang, Borkature, but no Harburg. But I thought Satterfield was a good tight ends coach. Anyways, go back to what was your point, Minnie? Because I felt like it was going to be very salient point.
What I was going to say before Greg interrupted me.
I apologize.
Interruption number 4 for Greg.
No, it isn't. I just don't point them out like everybody else.
Well, when a thing is so glaring, but anyways.
Okay, so because when I get interrupted, I always lose my train of thought, and okay. Here's what I was going to say.
That's why we do it.
Shut up. Does it feel like we are doing the same exact thing that we did with Tony White and John Butler last season with our special teams this season? Are you guys scared that that's what's happening? Because Mike Eckler took us from being at the bottom of the barrel practically in college football to 12th overall in special teams. And now we're relying on his way of doing things as per Matt Rhule and hiring guys that know his way. You know what I mean? Supposedly.
I think that he's just going to go with the 2 guys that we have because it's kind of too late in the game to do anything else. And there's something in place, because if he was to grab another special teams guy from somewhere else, that guy could have a different program, different ways of doing things. And it would be even worse than, you know. So I think he has enough confidence in Maher, and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Humphrey something or other.
Humphreys, yes. That he's willing to go with them and just hope that works. And I'm fine with it, you know. Oh, Zero, I remember you. You had a different name when we could see our real names up there. You're quite lovely now too. No, but I think that's it. I think if the Eckler thing would have happened further back, we might have seen somebody else be looked at. But I think it was it happened too late to where he couldn't just change stream and get another guy in there.
Why not?
Because that guy comes in and he has a different way of doing things, perhaps.
What?
So what? At least this is like some bit of foundational thing where he's at least keeping guys that understand what Eckler did.
But who's going to bring that? Okay, I think that Eckler has a proven.
Well, I'll go down there and do that. I'll run around. I'll knock Matt Rhule on his ass. I could do it.
Thank you.
I'm about as fat as him.
Yes, that's what we need. Who is going to be that guy that just brings the juice and is able to look at film and be like, yeah, that guy, that second or third stringer that has never played before, I want him.
Gosh, Pitt's telling me to fuck off just because I was nice to somebody else. What kind of world do we live in? No, I get that too, but I mean, but also that's a thing where Rhule wanted to somewhat neuter that enthusiasm. Greg talked about it before. It's like, why are you wanting to pull back? And that shows a little bit of a thing on Rhule's part. And yeah, so it's like now he wants it dumbed down and sanitized. And yeah, I don't know.
I want unbridled stallions on the sideline. And I want Matt Rhule to let him run free.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, Matt Rhule. I mean, you used to be a football player, for crying out loud. Be all right with a little contact. Football's a contact sport.
That's why he put the backwards hat on. He's ready for contact.
That was a horrible idea.
He's ready for more podcasts with a backward hat. That's all that was.
That was a horrible idea, start to finish, and I wish he would have never done it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. I'm fine with them keeping the two guys that we got. It you know, I don't think it's not going to go back to fully level special teams. And if it does, then he needs to really figure something out.
Yeah, well, I kind of think that if it does, and I don't know, if you guys think I'm wrong,
if he die, we die.
tell me now. If our special team sucks and we lose games by 3 points, say we lose, I don't know, four games by 3 points next season, does that mean Matt Rhule is done?
We lose 4 games by a total of 3 points. That'd be difficult to do.
Each.
That's how math doesn't work.
No, I think that'd be different. You mean like those are our only 4 losses? Like we lose?
No, I mean, okay. I don't know how many losses. I'm just saying hypothetically.
We'll lose 6, but anyways.
If we lose 4 by a field goal.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
If it's strictly just by a field goal, I can't say it's an indictment on even special teams because but if we're losing the game because we missed extra points, we're bobbling snaps, we're fumbling the punt, we're punting to the wrong side of the field, we're running fakes when we shouldn't, any number of other things that happened under Foley, then I don't think Rhule gets fired, but he gets new special teams coach.
Well, let's say this. Let's put it out there, right? Because we tried to break down the schedule a couple of weeks ago when the schedule was announced. We have Ohio State. We have 3 teams that were in the semifinals. Semifinal? Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. Oregon, something like that, yeah.
Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana. 3 teams that were in the playoffs last year.
Yes.
If you want to take the position, and full disclosure, everybody, I'm not taking this position. But if you want to take position that those are 3 automatic losses, and then you can throw in Iowa, Illinois, pick another Washington or whomever. If you're getting manhandled and just outclassed by the playoff teams, like let's say you beat Illinois, but you lose to Rutgers. Sorry, Rutgers. You're I don't care if it's by 3.
Here, I just put the schedule up there.
Nice.
Can you even read it? Can you read it?
We can see the Legos.
You even go here, Greg?
We can see the Legos. No, we can see the logos. That's enough.
Okay.
No, I don't know. If you lose close games that you should win, let's say Maryland, Rutgers, any of the non-conference games, like if you lose any of those, it's time to pack bags. Like I don't care. And everybody's talking about buyouts and things like that. Somebody donated $15 million to the athletic department to fire Scott Frost 2 weeks early. Let's remember that.
Mm-hmm.
The money will show up somewhere.
That actually makes me laugh. I can't help it. It's just whoever that person
they
is.
didn't let him coach the Oklahoma game.
I would
Mickey
love
Joseph
to.
coached the
Wouldn't
Oklahoma
you
game,
love
and we
to meet
almost won.
that? Wouldn't you love to meet that person?
That's the old FU money that people talk
I
about.
love that.
But
that's the legit go away money.
Well, you talk about the way the schedule with those, the guaranteed, and you don't know, but also you do. I mean, Oregon is still Oregon. Indiana is still going to be Indiana. Ohio State is still going to be Ohio State, even down to the very end. Even like we talked a few weeks ago, if the offensive line gets full-blown space aids, they're still going to beat us. So those are three. We have still shown the propensity to have the inexplicable, weird loss to somebody we shouldn't lose to. So that could be a Maryland. That could be, that could be a Rutgers. Illinois is not guaranteed. Even Michigan State, because we've also shown a propensity to lose to teams that have a brand new coach.
Mm-hmm.
And, Purge Mask Fitzgerald is not a slouch. And he can make something out of nothing. And he could probably take whatever Michigan State has and make it decent quick. It's going to be tough. Then we end with Iowa. At Iowa, it's and people talk to what could be a fireable thing. Honestly, even if he goes 5-7, I don't know that he would get fired. I think it would be like a mulligan type of a season. Honestly, I really do. I think they're not going to switch gears so fast on it.
I am actually happy. As much as I want to hear what's going on behind the Iron Curtain, I am glad that there's nothing coming out of Nebraska right now. Because the way that the season ended, we just needed to work. That's it. That's everybody's focus. Nothing else is going to be happening. Just work, work, work.
And I'll say this to that point, because I agree with you, Minnie. The fact that it's been so quiet and hopefully, I don't need to see any types of chasing threes. I honestly don't even want to see a hype video until August. Like just do the things you're supposed to do, because we all had such a bad taste in our mouth after the way the season ended, Penn State, Iowa, and the bowl game. We are in a mode right now where absence makes the heart grow fonder. The fact that we're not seeing new YouTube videos every week means that we have an actual, honest to gosh, opportunity to miss Nebraska football and actually won it again.
Yes. How can I miss you if you don't go away? And
exactly.
It reminds me too of it was the 93 season, I think it was, for Nebraska. And then I think that was the year we got screwed by Florida State, with Charlie Ward and all that. Whatever year it was, but ESPN specifically, it was Reese Davis, and he said it's really quiet out of Lincoln. It was a preseason special, and they said it's really quiet coming out of Lincoln right now. We don't know what's going on, but it feels like they're really building something. Something's under the hood, and they're building something. And not that everything was ever loud coming out of Lincoln anyway, but pundits would push things, at certain times. And we went on to have the season that we did back then, and maybe, God forbid, the quiet is a good thing for once instead of this. And all the chasing threes, I loved them. But between that and every social media thing that's out there, you got to get to a point where the guys seem like they're seeing their rock stars, kind of huffing their own farts at some point, and it's like you think it's just going to happen because it looks good on TV on film.
Yeah.
Yes. I think you definitely bring up a great point, both of you. It gives us a chance to miss it, which I do already. I'm kind of already looking at eyeing the schedule. I'm not going to make it to the spring game, March 28th. It's at 11 o'clock. We know that, and it's going to happen.
Who's Nebraska playing in that game, Minnie?
Huh?
Who are we playing in that game?
In the spring game, Greg?
Yeah, the spring game.
Okay.
It was a joke. Come on, everybody. Let's have some fun.
I think we're playing
Thursday night. It's 10 o'clock.
I think Dylan's going to portal back just for that, just to have a couple of fumbles and fall down and, play the garbage truck beeping back up when he's backing out to, drop back to pass.
Wait, don't you want to look at games that you might possibly want to go to?
No.
Why?
Because it's February.
Well,
trying to
really?
figure it out.
I always try and look at it and think, okay, what games do I want to go to?
Okay, what games do you want to go to, Minnie?
Well,
I think you want to go to the Oregon game.
Yeah. I would love to go to the Oregon game. That would actually be great.
You probably
but in
want
Lincoln.
to go to a Washington game because that's back-to-back weekends.
Oh.
Or actually, I take it back. I think there's the bye week in between there. Hold on, I have it here.
Yes.
Yeah,
there is a bye week.
No, the bye week is after Oregon, before Washington. So
yeah.
Out of all that, I'd like to go to the Ohio game because probably it's one of the cheapest ones to go to, the 3 non-con games.
And they'll bring Frank Solich out again.
Yeah. See Frank, and he's one of the few people that I'm taller than. And and then I don't know, the home games are, Maryland, Indiana. That'd be cool to see a Signetti team, I guess, in person. Washington.
Would be fun to go home after a 63-10 loss.
Well, yeah, I could leave at halftime. Me and Marine could hit a vineyard on the way home, and we could probably get home and we could do a podcast about it after it's over. I'd be ready to go.
I bet they'll do the blackout on again for the Washington game.
Probably.
It's late enough in the season, probably. They wouldn't dare do it against Indiana because
that will be on Halloween.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah.
That's going to be so fun. So that's a game I want to go to. Yeah, for sure. And Oregon for now. And maybe one of the non-conference games.
I'll look at possibly the Illinois game since I live in Illinois. That'd be the one that makes the most sense to me.
How far is Champaign from where you're at?
A couple hours.
Oh, ain't bad.
About 2.5 to 3, maybe. All interstate. I mean, it's all interstate.
Perfect.
And I have a lead foot, so I'll get there quickly.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we talked about that. Thank you very much.
Sure am. I haven't had a new comment come across the screen in 7 minutes, so I hope you all.
They are working.
10:01 on the screen, but
Midi Michi.
Roger Moore says, back to pizza talk.
So my boys, they just like cheese pizza. So when if I do this homemade dough pizza, it's just gonna be pretty basic.
If the Huskers were a pizza, what kind of pizza would they be? Ooh.
Oh, interesting. Really interesting.
Current Huskers, I would say probably Casey's Pizza, because it'll, fill you up if you can keep it down. And that's about it. Like, just doesn't wow me.
Casey's Pizza's good, man.
I don't know what Casey's is.
It's good in a pinch.
The pizza that you made is better than theirs. The pizza that I made is better than theirs. And we're regular people.
What is Casey's Pizza?
Casey's is a convenience store.
It's a big chain. Do they have them in Illinois too, Greg?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We identify our small towns by 3 things. Casey's, Dollar General, Dairy Queen.
Same
you
here.
Got two of those 3, you're in official small town.
Most every small town has a Casey's. Yeah. Dairy Queen's going away, but
I'll be
everybody
honest,
has a
I am not happy with the Casey's rebrand on the exterior. I miss it's only been a few months. I miss the old red brick signage that they had.
Ironically, you mentioned that, and that's funny. In Pitt, if he's still around, he would see it in the town that I'm born South Omaha, so I don't claim Plattsmouth is where I lived. We moved to Plattsmouth when I was 5. Plattsmouth is a town of about 7,000. It has 2 Casey's now. The original in town has the old brick.
Mm-hmm.
but the new one off the highway has that new modern look, and it's nice. It's huge. It's huge. It's almost like a QT. Like it's large and it's clean.
Almost like a QT. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, you don't feel like you're gonna get shanked. It's nice, but
you know what's really wonderful when you don't have to wonder about gas stations ever again.
You start walking? Did you take up bicycling?
She went to the Big X media days. So 2 humble brags at once. Got it out of the way.
Hey, I can't even remember the last time I looked at how much gas costs. I have no idea. It's wonderful. It's like the craziest freedom I've ever felt in my life. Huh?
I said #humble brag.
What?
Can't hide money.
Oh my gosh. The fact that now I drive an electric vehicle. I never thought that those words would ever come out of my mouth. But they did, and I actually really love it.
I just can't believe what you're doing to the environment with that electric vehicle.
Yeah, me either, Greg.
The mining?
Yeah. Where's that battery going to go when it goes out?
My battery's going to last for a very, very, very long time. Okay?
It's heavier than all the other cars, so it beats up the roads. And then also,
you want to tell me about cars that last?
Because
the last
it's heavier.
Vehicle I had, listen, the last vehicle I had, I paid for twice over with all of the maintenance. It was a nightmare.
Silverado that me and my dad bought in 2017 for $2,500. Still going strong.
Bring back the square body pickup trucks. That's all I gotta say.
Weighs 2 tons, and then you got the special tires that the Tesla needs. And then when those go out, you need more expensive special tires because it's so heavy.
I'm just saying. You have to have special tires. They're the same kind of tires I had on my old car.
But they go out quicker because that car is heavier. And then think about parking in parking garages.
Okay,
if you're in a parking garage and there's a bunch of Teslas, they're so much heavier. I'm just saying, these are things that,
Are Teslas heavier? Because I definitely don't think they are.
Oh, they are, Minnie. Google it. Google it even.
Well, they have less parts that break. I mean, I am sold on Teslas. I love them. I think they're the best thing ever. They drive themselves.
I'm not going to yuck your yum. You do what you do.
It's fantastic. Especially when I've spent years of my life in rush hour traffic going to soccer practice. And just like that's how I spent my life.
Allow you to levitate above all the other cars? What does it do that's so special?
Now I don't even have to worry. If I get behind the wheel, I don't even stress out because I'm not driving. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know. Me and Greg watch a lot of sci-fi, and I remember a Doctor Who episode where the automatic cars were driving people off a bridge and killing them. So
the very first episode of the Amazon Prime series uploaded. Same thing.
I gotta watch that.
It's a fun show.
Buy a snorkel, Minnie, just in case.
A snorkel?
Well, you go off the bridge. There ain't a lot of water in Arizona, I guess. So.
Well, speaking of driving, where are you taking us to next, Minnie?
Okay, thank you very much.
Waymo, Tiger Shark, very good. They have a lot of those in Arizona. Me and Maureen took them a few times.
Yep,
they were nice.
One last thing I'm going to say about my car. It has cameras everywhere, which the Waymo does, but it looks funny because there's cameras everywhere. It knows what's going on behind you. You're not able to see what's going on behind you. So it's just safer all around. I know for a fact it's a safer mode of transportation.
Frost dates wish they had those cameras too.
Stop it. Okay. Basketball. We're 21-3.
21-3. Had a rough first half against Purdue. If we could have cleaned up that first half just a little bit more, we beat Purdue, which I think they were 11 or 13, I think at the time. Hold on, I've got the thing, the schedule pulled up here. Yeah, we were ranked 7, they were ranked 13, and we had a hell of a second half and just couldn't get it finished off. lost by 3 in overtime to Purdue. That was after a win on Saturday again on the road at Rutgers, which was I remember I said to Josh, I said, man, it'd be nice to win this game by 30, and we didn't. We won by 12, but we still won on the road in the Big Ten. And then, of course, so did Purdue because they came to the vault and won. Again, rough start. Someone in the comments said that Nebraska ball has a really strong chance to win out the regular season. They are back at home this Saturday, 12 o'clock tip-off against Northwestern. Then next Tuesday, they are on the road at Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City, taking on the Shitheads at 8 o'clock Central. And then next Saturday, the 21st, back at home against Penn State. Maryland, Southern California, UCLA, Iowa. So we'll face Iowa twice in about a 3-week period.
Okay, I did watch the last game. I'm sorry.
You got to stop watching the game. You have watched every game that we have lost, Minnie.
Those are the only games I've watched.
You are not allowed to. We talk about this every week. You're not allowed to watch any more Nebraska ball.
How come? This doesn't make sense.
Because you're watching the game and they're losing.
I have watched 3 games total, and we have lost 3 games. We've won 21.
Yeah. But the ones that you have watched are the ones that they have lost.
That's how odds work, Minnie.
But I want to watch.
You're going to have to just follow the score on Google or something. You're not allowed to watch the games anymore.
All right. I feel like I'm kind of part of the reason. I don't know.
For the good of the program, Minnie.
Like I'm in the Matrix.
Yes, exactly.
Chuck. Absolutely do not watch the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Even Husker Chuck is turning on me. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. And Gary's not wrong. The teams that have beaten us are top 10 teams for sure. Michigan, Illinois, Purdue. So I think Purdue was preseason number 1, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Well, that Michigan loss, they were great. You know, 1 loss, and it took everything they had to beat us, and we were down like 2-3 of our best players. So
yeah, we didn't have Prater, we didn't have Mast in that game.
Yeah.
So,
sacrifice the Dylan doll, then you can watch. Minnie's gonna cut its head off right now on live stream.
This is not Dylan.
It's Big Red.
Well, that's not. But she probably called him that at some point.
Little Dylan. Dylan.
Saying all 3 losses already. Wouldn't that be great if the Final 4 was Michigan, Illinois, Purdue, Nebraska?
Oh, yes.
Damn.
And Minnie, you wouldn't be able to watch those games either.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Because that would that would prove that I have nothing to do with it because they're
No, because you didn't watch up to that point, and then you watch and we lose. And then it's all over, man.
Just think, Minnie, if you don't watch another Nebraska ball game this year, then they're going to win the national championship. Those are that's
very small sacrifice.
That's really sad that I can't be a part of it. You know, I suffer from FOMO.
But we also know that you don't like basketball.
Well, I do.
No, you like bandwagon jumping. If Nebraska basketball wasn't competitive this year, if they weren't 21-3, you wouldn't give a rip.
Okay.
Yeah, if it was like
if they were 12-12, you'd be like,
we wouldn't even be talking about it at all tonight. It would be like a non-starter.
Okay, good point.
Maybe like, well, only if Dylan was still here, and he went to the game.
He was in the crowd, and they were showing him.
And he waved a towel, and
every time out.
The Wiener Schlinger shot some hot dogs, and he just sucked them in like oxygen. That's the only thing that would would probably satiate many. We'd talk about Nebraska, but he took those hot dogs in. Oh my God. It was so smooth. It was like it came from the best long snapper ever, and it was just the best thing ever. And that would be the Nebraska basketball talk for tonight.
Did you say he just sucked it down?
Like oxygen. Oil and all. Dylan's got a cast iron stomach on the inside. Outside, not so much, I don't think.
Okay.
Thank you, Fred.
It's what you get for bringing me on.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Where are we going next, Greg? You tell me. Oh, actually, I have a little thing. Rostovsky will be very happy with this. Baseball starts tomorrow, guys. Here in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona.
Isn't that goddamn Grand Canyon you again?
We're gonna do it's called the Desert Classic. So we're starting off playing against UConn tomorrow. And then we play in Mesa, and then we play, I think it's Sunday against Grand Canyon. So I'm gonna try and go to Sunday's game.
Should be a good time.
Yes.
Very exciting.
UConn, Northeastern, and then Sunday at against GCU,
Mm-hmm.
And then Monday against Stanford.
Oh, that's right. And we don't have a very good record against Stanford, if I remember correctly.
Nebraska doesn't have a home game until they take on UNO March 3rd. It's a Tuesday at 1:00.
Where's that at? Is that in Lincoln or is that up here in Omaha?
Haymarket. And then the fourth is against South Dakota State, also at Haymarket. And then they open up Big Ten play officially. I mean, I know they're playing USC in the tournament. Stanford. Never mind. So they open up Big Ten play at home on March 6th against Michigan State.
Bummer. I was hoping that UNO game was up here because we could literally walk to the stadium and watch it. Yeah, we're that close. UNO is not. Oh, I think they beat Nebraska last year, though, didn't they?
I think you're right.
Which blew my mind. I couldn't believe it because we went to a game. I got free tickets and watched them play somebody else, and UNO just got annihilated. But they did have really good beer at their concession stands from Kincaider. Humble brag plug. But their wine was trash. Like it was like grocery store $2 wine, even worse than Minnie's discount wine from Walgreens, and it all tasted rancid. But you can actually sit on the grass on the hill and just watch the game, and it's a nice stadium and it's a complex. The softball is right behind it. So dang, I wish it was up here. I'd go to it. Oh well.
Well, you're in luck.
Why?
No, you're not. Never mind.
Okay.
That would be a birthday present for me too. Like right around
they
my
do
birthday.
play Creighton in Omaha at the end of the year, and they play Creighton in Omaha at the end of March. So I know it's not UNO. It might be a little bit more of a drive for you. So
yeah, couple 3 minutes. It's all right. We Uber now.
Oh, there you go.
Can I butt in here?
Sure.
Well, since we don't have comments, right?
I mean, they just updated.
Oh, they did?
Bunch just popped through. Yeah.
Justin Raji, my buddy.
Oh, Rocky.
My friend, my pal, says Minnie really is bad luck. Remember, she did start watching football when Tommy Armstrong went to the hospital. Oh.
Whew. Deep cut, but
that hurts so bad.
He's out of line, but he's not wrong.
All right. Minnie, by the way, I just wanted one correction from the minutes, aka format. Under basketball, you had 21-3. You said we won against Illinois, lost against Purdue. Of course, we won against Rutgers and lost against Purdue.
Okay, that's what I meant.
Thank
you for correcting me in front of all of these people.
Man, if I had $1 for every time Minnie corrected or thought she corrected Greg, I could probably, I don't know, buy a super chat.
I thought you were gonna say buy a Tesla.
Yeah, that too. I could buy 2 Teslas probably and crush the street right in front of our house. So yeah.
Are we ready for the last bit of the show before we do our starred comments and get out of here? So I'm excited because this is something we did last off season when it was just Minnie and myself, and now we get the inclusion of Fred, where we're bringing back blind rankings. Where if you're not familiar with blind rankings, I'm going to at least tonight provide these two with an iconic Husker moment. And specifically, it's going to be football. And they will have to say 1 through 6. I did come up with 6. They're going to have to rank them and then not knowing what's next. So it's going to be super fun. Minnie's got pen and paper. She's going to keep track, which is great because we know that I won't. So Fred and Minnie, are you ready for tonight's blind ranking?
Yes.
I am ready.
Okay. Let me find the folder that has the things. All right. I am going to start with, now, most of these are from this century. But this one is not. This one we got to go back to the 1980s. So, Minnie, I do apologize, but we'll start this one. We'll get it out of the way and see how this works. Processing. How about the old Fumble-Rooski?
So everything else is from this century except for this.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Okay. Number 1.
Really?
I
Yep.
kind of have to agree.
Okay.
Just because of what Fred said.
Minnie's copying off my homework, Greg. Make it stop.
All right. Minnie, you're keeping track, right?
Yes.
I'm surprised number 1 went first. Number 1 off the table from here on out. All right. Let's get to the next one. We got to go back to, I want to say 2012, Nebraska, Ohio State. And
That's
it is
right.
the interception that Stanley Jean-Baptiste had that helped turn the tide against Ohio State in this game.
We're doing 1 to 6, right?
1 to 6. Actually, technically now 2 to 6.
Okay. 6.
Okay. Is that because it was against Joe Bowserman?
It just because I don't.
And it didn't count as much?
This game wasn't worth a shit. We beat him, but it was like nothing. It was Fickle was the interim coach. So,
But
6.
we beat him. So we had something to think about.
Yeah, but still 6.
What was the score?
Fred?
I don't remember.
I'm on it.
I was probably drunk by halftime and gave up because we were losing, but, we came back and won.
I'm going to go with 5. 5.
It wasn't 2012. Crap. I got it. Was it 13?
When was it?
Oh, is this the Pelini FU fans game?
No,
When
we
he
didn't
got
play in
caught,
13.
they recorded it after the
What year
game.
was this now? Somebody in the chat's going to know the answer before I do.
People keep saying 2012 or
No,
Husker
it was
11.
2011. We won 34-27. It was the largest comeback victory in Nebraska history at that time.
Yep.
So
That sounds amazing.
This was the Bo FU fans game where the recording afterwards, the fans left and he's like, I want to say FU fans and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to kiss my ass when I leave. And it was a whole thing like a year or two later when he was on the hot seat. But I'm still saying that's my number, whatever, 6 on this list.
okay,
Yeah.
Minnie, what number did you give?
5.
Okay.
Because it was Ohio State.
How about the longest field goal in Nebraska history? Alex Henry against Colorado.
2.
How long was the field goal?
57?
Who was the long snapper? Did he like long walks on the beach and, was he sad when it rained?
If I'm looking at this if I've seen this picture correctly, O'Leary,
82.
82. Yeah. There's Matt Slauson.
Get to the Slauson cut off your Slauson. Yeah.
You said 2, Fred?
Yes, 2.
You said 56 yards?
57.
57.
And what was the end score?
Didn't end up being, it was a little bit, we won by 10 because this is the same game that Sue ran over the quarterback, Hawkins, when he got a fumble return and scored another touch, right? Or no, this is the end of the game.
Was this 28-20? That was 09.
I think this was the end of the game.
I think this was 08.
This was the end of the game?
No.
Seriously?
No, I don't. Oh, gosh, I can't remember. I feel like we went ahead by 3, and then the next drive, Sue.
It was 08 game. We won 40-31.
Okay, that's it. Yep.
Yeah, the 57-yard kick set a school record.
2 intercepted.
Huskers
Yeah.
ahead. So.
And then he literally stomped on Hawkins's kid's head as he knocked him down and ran back that pick. That's right.
Well, let's see here. And we joined the Big Ten. Let's see.
In 2011.
So we're okay. So
We're not, yeah.
This was definitely a rival game.
This
This
was
is
Black
very
Friday.
important that we beat the pants off of them. And we did it right at the end to just kind of drill it home. So I'm going to go with 3.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what we have next here. Now, an exciting moment in an otherwise less than exciting situation. The block heard around the world. Big Ten championship. Kenny Bell, Devin Smith, freeing up Jamal Turner for a touchdown that was called back.
5.
What year?
2011. First year in the Big Ten. Or second?
He said 5. I am going to go with
second year in the Big Ten.
I'm going to go with 6.
Okay. This is getting interesting. We have what, 3 and 4
that game
left?
caused me to punch a fan. Actually, it caused me to punch a fan.
One of ours was
playing one, and I punched it across the living room because I couldn't believe we just got the game was terrible, just a nightmare.
All right, moving
Terrible.
Moving on, I believe this was the end of the, I would say the 2013 season. And that was when the longest touchdown in history, Tommy Armstrong to Quincy Enunwa, Nebraska versus Georgia in the Gator Bowl. 99 yards. I think we only have, correct me if I'm wrong, Minnie, 3 and 4 left.
I'm going to call this my 4.
You're going to say 4? I'm going to say 2.
Ooh.
Sounds freaking fantastic. Okay, we have 1. Wait.
The gutsy call on 3rd and long from the 1.
We have 1 left.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every now and again. So,
All right. Last but not least.
It's going to be the Kellogg one, isn't it?
You would like to think that.
Greg's fucking with us, Minnie. God damn it.
He always does.
The one moment that needs no explanation. But I'll explain it anyway. Tommy Armstrong, after getting knocked out and sent to the hospital at Ohio Stadium,
He's wearing his hospital pants.
He's making it back to the game. You guys
Yes.
are great. Thinking that I was going to do the Kellogg Hail Mary or the Fraser Run or even the
Okay,
Miracle in
I'll
Missouri.
tell you the game.
I just said the
26.
game.
What?
I just
You
said
didn't
the
say
game.
the year or the
Oh.
score, Greg. Didn't we lose like 61-8?
It was bad.
It was
so
bad. It was
So it
bad.
wasn't really a. Some of the older peoples will know this. Wasn't a Willis Reed moment necessarily.
62-3.
Yeah.
2-3.
See
Okay.
those 3 points we had? By the way, we were number 10 at the time. Number 10.
Yeah.
So that's your number 3, Fred.
I guess. Or no, my number. Maybe it is. Yeah. That's all right.
Yep. It's my number 4.
And that's the little game we play.
That was fun.
Greg's blind ranking fun.
That was. Thank you very
Greg
much,
went.
Greg. Okay.
We'll
Did
do that
you
again next week.
remind everyone to like the video that we are making right now? Housekeeping, please.
Yes. Hey, if you haven't already, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the Core Nation YouTube channel, and Fred, help me out. Ring that bell for
Ring the
notifications.
bell.
Good.
Yeah.
Other
yeah.
Greg, it didn't pass. I'm errant.
Ring the bell so that you never miss when we drop new videos. Somebody asked earlier if we need to do a wellness check on Andy. I am imagine that he'll be back soon with Husker Heat, his Nebraska Cornhusker softball show. So be sticking around for that if that is your jam. And we do have some starred comments to get to.
Okay.
Husker Chuck said that men's basketball could run the table the rest of the season. That's our hope, especially if Minnie doesn't watch.
That'd be sweet.
08888 says, using the correlation, we can project our final ranking next year. Do we have 4+ NFL players on this next roster next year? No. That means we'll be in the bottom half again. It's really that simple now. I didn't know it was that simple. I didn't know who started that comment. Minnie, was that you? Did you start that comment?
I think that was me. Yes, okay. I will step forward and claim that only because he's right.
I reserve judgment because you don't know what Jeep Wade's going to do, or if we have another, Emmett emerge kind of a thing. So there could be more than just 4.
Jeez. Pass
I know.
the Kool-Aid.
How the turntables have turned.
Speaking of Kool-Aid, TSD says, Minnie, if you don't drink grapefruit White Claws, I'm done.
Oh, that's
TSD.
a White Claw flavor?
TSD. Grapefruit is my absolute favorite. I wish they sold that they sell just one single flavor in the packs. And they sell this one, and then they sell peach. Why those 2 flavors? They ought to sell grapefruit. I agree.
Sounds like space age in a can.
Oh, it's so yummy. I love it.
Nothing is safer than a heavy-ass 98 Tahoe.
Yes, never mind me. I had a 99 Tahoe, 2-door, no less. Best truck I ever owned. Awesome.
And Minnesota Tony says, George Jetson's car turned into a briefcase. I'm not impressed with electric.
I agree, Tony. We should
the
be
Jetsons,
flying
I think,
by
took
now.
place in like
Bullshit.
2015, so we are way behind. Tony says, I like the video. Even without the Wisconsin besmirching, I enjoy. We can for sure besmirch Wisconsin real quick. Wisconsin sucks. They suck as a school. They suck as an athletic department. They suck as a state. The only thing good about Wisconsin is the food and the beer.
Wisconsin fans' idea of foreplay is, hey, sis, you awake? There you go, Tony. You're welcome.
See, now that's something you got to say. You could say about any of the states in the South.
I use it on Iowa a lot just because we hate Iowa, but we can transfer it over. It hit the portal. My insult hit the portal. Yep.
Oh, and Christopher says that the Jetsons, or Christopher and Husker Chuck says the Jetsons take place in 2062. You're right. I was thinking of Back to the Future 2, which takes place in 2015, that also featured flying cars.
I don't care. We should still have flying cars. Bullshit.
It or never. There are tears in my eyes, tears of joy. Minnie, do you want to besmirch Wisconsin real quick?
I don't know anything about Wisconsin
No,
other
'cause
than
I think you like Nick Fickle. I think she said something nice about him.
no, I never said that. That is one thing I definitely did not say.
You don't
Minnie,
like skinny jeans? Something? I thought.
Why don't you branch out? Minnie, do you like, let's think about this. You're in the American Southwest.
Mhm.
Do you like New Mexico? Just in general.
Or what?
Just in general.
I do like Santa Fe. Yes.
Would you besmirch New Mexico?
I mean, that's kind of mean. Picking on the smallest and poorest. I think they're the smallest by population and poorest state in the country.
You think Alaska has more people than New Mexico?
I do. Per square mile. I think that's correct. I think. Because
but Alaska's
everybody
also
in
the
New
biggest state in
Mexico
the
is
union.
illegal.
Oh, Husker Chuck said, and Christopher again say Wyoming has the smallest population.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure Vince Watson would say that too.
I need to go to Wyoming. I don't like
You really can't think of anything mean to say about Wisconsin. Like, you're breaking Tony's heart.
I'm sorry.
Boo.
It's way too far north.
There, just say that. It's too damn cold.
There you go.
All right. Sorry, Tony. I tried. We'll send her a geography book so that she can brush up on Wisconsin to do some proper besmirching next week. So, all right. That is all that we have for you to entertain you, to educate you, maybe not educate, but hopefully just to, look, I appreciate all of you hanging out with us tonight. It's a great community that we have here. I'm thankful for Minnie for giving herself a promotion to, become a member of the show. And I'm appreciative of Minnie for inviting Fred to be part of the show as well. And to both of these two fantastic individuals for leveling up, so to speak. It makes my job so much. I don't know if y'all realize this, but I didn't say a whole lot tonight. Maybe that's why we're getting done before 11 o'clock. So,
yep. So wrap it up.
Minnie has to pee. That's code.
Minnie
has to pee.
For Fred, I'm Greg. This is the 5 Heart Podcast. We remind you each and every week that 5 Heart is all the heart you need. Minnie?
And thank you so much, and go Big Red.
Fred?
And Little Red.
No.
Be kind and rewind.
Nice.